Hi, and welcome to QUTV News. I'm Tony Lundy. QUTV gets some tips on how to best deal with allergies this fall.
And I'm Jake Vitale. Quincy University recently canceled classes for their students to enjoy a fall break, and during this break there seem to be concerns about cars on campus, and that's where we begin today. QU students received an email over fall break reminding them to lock their cars. QU security has reported several break-ins and thefts over the last few weeks. Security has also reported suspicious groups and activities. Most of these reports have been in C lot, which holds the most parking spaces for students on campus. It is the parking lot across from Padua Hall.
There has been a kid in my hall who came to me and he did tell me that his car was broken in. I asked him if his car was locked, and he said he left it unlocked. He did tell me that he did go to security, and they're investigating it.
QU reported 4 motor vehicle thefts in 2023. Each of these reports over the last 2 years have involved an unlocked vehicle. The QU mission statement is up for review after 25 years. Students could stop by and voice their opinions about the proposed changes at several listening sessions across campus. Over 100 students contributed their opinion to the new statement. The final viewings took place at the SSC, outside the CAF, and the snack shop on North Campus. The purpose was to state what QU represents today. The current mission statement can be found on the QU website.
The ordinary student probably cannot tell you what liberal arts is at all. Well, we got to do something about that, so that people realize, we say we are a liberal arts institution of higher learning in the Franciscan Catholic tradition. Well, do you know what that means?
In order to make sure the proposal represented everybody, the committee included 2 faculty members, the vice president for academic affairs, 2 students, and 3 staff members. The mission statement wants students to know what it means to be a Hawk.
Quincy University is expanding and continuing to grow. Fraternities are new to campus and looking to make a big impact. One fraternity is already trying to make a difference. Ryan Capps takes us to Greek Row to show us the new addition.
Life on campus has been overlooked at QU. Alpha Psi Delta is new and wants to bring life into Greek life. The new frat is looking at the bigger picture for campus life and students.
I wanted to start a frat to give people the opportunity to join Greek life. Obviously, it's something very positive. It can be it is like a very positive outlook on campus. It helps a lot.
The idea for a frat started as an idea during practice. From there, it grew to a reality.
Just seeing a group of friends being able to put together a vision and then seeing that vision come to life has been really nice.
Alpha Psi Delta wants more campus engagement. Events will be a big part in making that happen. Some ideas are already being made.
So, as of right now, one of our upcoming events is something for Halloween. What it's going to be, I'm not sure, but it will be a good time, I promise it.
With 12 members so far, Alpha Psi Delta will only look to grow. The frat looks to hit events and recruiting hard in the spring, so be on the lookout. Ryan Capps, QUTV News, Quincy.
Events and recruiting information will be sent to students in their QU email. The QU Express performed a jazz band concert at the Connie Neiman Center for music performance. The jazz concert consisted of many well-known songs and songs most commonly unheard of. Some members played in the concert with an instrument that wasn't even their primary instrument.
The purpose of jazz band really is just have another ensemble on campus. A lot of us specialize in jazz or upper beat music, and then just another group besides concert. A lot of us are on scholarship for jazz band, so that's another thing just specifically for this ensemble. And then a lot of the music majors and minors are still in this group.
The music program upcoming performance is before the year turns over. December 3rd, the QU Express will be performing their Christmas concert in the CAF at 6 p.m. Wow, I can't believe that it's already that time where Christmas is around the corner.
It seems like everybody seems to forget about my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving.
All right, well, let's just get through Halloween first. Up next, QU's baseball team wraps up their season with a fun twist, and QU success coaches show their support for student-athlete mental health. The majority of students on QU campus are athletes. QU wants to make athletes on campus aware of their mental health. Athletes' mental health is not something that you should be taking lightly. QU student athletes have so much on their plate, and it can become draining. As an athlete, you have to manage weights, practice, and class, and on top of that, make sure your homework has been turned in before the deadline. All this stuff can definitely take a toll on the athlete's mental health. QU has many resources on campus that student athletes can use to get help.
On campus, we have success coaches for immediate counseling services. Outside of that, it would just be the Quincy Medical Group, who we have a partnership with that they can make appointments with that works with their schedule.
QUTV is also a new club here on campus for students' mental health. This club is meant for students to seek help and create bond with each other for support. Midterm grades are in and B-session courses have started. Some students may be falling behind and may seek to use the tutoring resources offered on campus. The Student Success Center and the Navigate app make it easy and accessible for students to make a tutoring appointment. QUTV's Kai Grover gives us more on tutoring on campus.
As a way to provide students with support if they are struggling in their classes, the Student Success Center offers tutoring resources from one student to another, but it's not as easy as it may seem, as there are requirements to be a student tutor.
Okay, well, becoming a tutor actually takes a lot of work. You have to make at least an A minus in certain courses to be able to be a tutor.
There are some students who may feel hesitant to reach out for help in their courses, but one of the benefits is that tutors aren't allowed to disclose who they tutor to anyone. Although being tutored has a bit of stigma on campus, some students believe that it has benefited them and others.
I'm currently being tutored right now, and it's helping me pass one of my classes. I like that it's free, but it pays a tutor itself, so it's a win-win for everyone.
As students settle into the last 7 weeks of their classes, tutoring might become a more valuable resource for them to use. Kai Grover, QUTV News, Quincy.
Any student interested in becoming a tutor, reach out to Lauren Daniels in the Student Success Center.
What did you do over break, Tony?
I just went back and visited some family that I haven't seen in a while.
There you go. Sounds like a great time. I was here over break to give viewers a peek into what life was like at QU over break. Fall break is a unique time around Quincy University. Many students take the long weekend as time to go home, but not all do, with the majority being student athletes who are in season. Many of the athletes use the break as time to get ahead on their sport and as time to get ahead on their classes.
I had to work some games for a class, and then I get them out of the way. I had to go home for my birthday instead, which I'd rather do that. And my brother's birthday is a few days after, so we're just kind of going to do them both together.
While some students chose to stay, others did not get a choice. Teams like volleyball, football, and soccer had games over break.
I had to stay over fall break because of soccer. We're still in the midst of our season, so we had a couple of games this weekend and then practices during the week. Otherwise, I probably would have gone home, but like other students here, I'm here with my sport.
Those not in season use the time without school as time to kick back and relax, spending time with their teammates they don't always get to with busy class schedules, watching football with their friends and fuzzy friends alike. Spending some extra time at the field with each other is another way athletes chose to make their break still productive.
A lot of fun over this fall break.
I sure did, and I honestly wish we had more than one because the weather was absolutely beautiful. With the weather being beautiful this fall, that also means it's allergy season for some students. We'll have more on the weather with Ryan Capps after this break. We've had a really nice couple days so far this week. I really hope it stays like this.
Yeah, I'm really a fan of this nice October weather. It's really refreshing.
Yeah, it really has been refreshing, but
in that same sense, it can be refreshing, but for a lot of people, it can also be some trouble, as it likes to be known as allergy season around here, which is what we're going to be jumping into right now, because the fall season is starting for QU students. While fall may provide nice scenery and various colors with the leaves changing, it also brings with it seasonal allergies. According to the Association of American Medical Colleges, more than 80 million people suffer from seasonal allergies, even though it may not completely hinder students. It can leave many with running noses, itchy eyes, or congestion. Nursing student Daxton Heyer has some solutions to help students deal with their seasonal allergies.
My biggest advice for seasonal allergies would be starting a daily antihistamine, so that could be Claritin, it could be Zyrtec, it could be Allegra, and that would be daily to start before the spring season comes or anytime before your allergies flare up, or you could do a Flonase nasal spray as well daily in both nostrils, and that could help.
Medications over the counter at local stores like Walgreens, Target, and Walmart. The medications are located in the cold and flu aisles in each store. Students looking for more aggressive medication can purchase these over the counter at each store's pharmacy. Now, looking past the allergy season, we're going to be looking more into this week and what the weather is going to be around, as we've had our October highs so far. As just a couple weeks ago, we had an all-time high of 90, which was around October 12th, I believe. So that was kind of how October's been so far this year, as it's been a whole bunch of highs, not a lot of lows so far, as I think the lowest we've kind of gotten into is the 50s. That's kind of been the story for our fall season, but now we're going to have some cooling temps coming in the later part of this week, where it's getting into the 60s a little bit, still in the 70s areas, but we're going to talk more about that later. But so far, November's also right around the corner here. You know, it's kind of snuck up on us a little bit, as we've just kind of gotten to the beginning of the semester here, just kind of into that usual system here. But now November's here. It's kind of jumping up on us, as finals are, dare I say it, just right around the corner, which, you know, I don't really want to bring it up here, but you kind of have to, as they're a big deal here. But today, we have our high of 67 and low of 46, which is right around the average, as you can see here. But then you go down to this record here, you see the 88. That just, for some people, that's a good day. Other people, it's a little too hot for them. But then you have the low of 25, which happened in 82. That's just a little bit too cold for, I think, everyone around here, especially in this area. That's like the little parka jackets come out, the snows. If it's snowing there, it's a little bit too much. But as I mentioned, we're going to have temperatures in around the 60s today. The wind is what you really want to pay attention to, as it's going to bring that temperature way down. It's going to feel like it's the low 50s, which you're definitely going to want to bundle up for that. It's also in the later part of this day, it's going to rain just a little bit, maybe some sprinkles here and there. It's kind of off and on again. That's what today is going to be looking like. Into the night, it's going to kind of keep that same kind of pattern going, as it's going to just cool down just a little bit, as you can see here. But the big thing is the wind is going to chill out just a little bit. So it's going to be more of like that 50s feeling, which is still just a little cold, but we're still going to have some clear skies. So that's what you're going to want to notice. Heading into Thursday, the high is going to be 71, but it is also going to be sunny. So that's going to be kind of a breath of fresh air, as you can say. But still, the wind is what's really going to bring it down, is it's going to feel like it's the 50s, 60s, even though it says 71. So that's why, like, the main thing to focus on is the wind is like just been the biggest part so far in this week. Now heading over to the weekend, as you can see here, Friday is going to kind of keep the same pattern going as Thursday in the 70s, with the wind just being a big factor here, making it feel like it's a lot colder than what it really is. And Friday is going to drop way down into the 40s, as you can see here. Wind, not really going to be a factor, but 40s is something you're really going to want to bundle up for if you're heading out on this Friday night. Saturday, going to be a nice even temperature of 65, which is kind of what we're used to now in this fall area now so far, but wind is going to be around 8 miles an hour. But we have that football game on Saturday. If you want to make it out for that, I've heard it's going to be kind of up and down. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. Now with the 7-day forecast, I'll step off so you can just kind of get a whole picture of it here. But as we talked about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's going to be this in the 70s, dropping down to 60s. But what you're really going to want to pay attention to is the beginning of next week. As Tuesday there, you got that high at 82. That's going to be really nice to see. Then Wednesday, it's going to be around 75, but the low is 67. So that's going to be real nice, as even the low is still going to be on the warmer side of what we're used to. But a big factor here is, as you can see, for this 7-day, you just have all sunny. So it's not going to be too outside variables there of rain, cloud, all that stuff. So it's going to be just a nice week in general. And that's kind of what we've had in store for your forecast and kind of what the weather is going to be looking like.
Thank you for that forecast, Ryan.
Yeah, I hope the weather stays nice as we still have some fall sports here that are still in season. So hopefully that works out well. But we'll have more on that with Tyler Menendez after this.
Hello, Hawks fans, and welcome back to QUTV Sports. I'm Tyler Menendez. This past week was packed with action in the world of QU athletics, and I'm here to give you your weekly dose of Hawks sports. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably heard about the dominant season that the QU women's volleyball team is putting together. Well, they continued that dominating run this past weekend. The Hawks traveled to Hammond, Indiana to participate in the Midwest Regional Crossover. The Hawks played 2 games on Friday. They kicked off the tournament against the Tiffin University Dragons. The Hawks dominated in the stats in this one. It's hard to lose a match when you outscore your opponents in all but one category. As you can see, the Hawks had more kills, digs, and aces in this one. The Dragons outblocked the Hawks by quite a lot. However, it was not nearly enough. The Hawks took all 3 sets in Game 1 of the weekend. The Dragons put up a fight in set 2 and 3. Both ended by a score of 26-24, but the Hawks still soared. Later that same day, the Hawks faced off against the Michigan Tech Huskies in Game 2 of the tournament. With momentum of a win earlier in the day, the Hawks came out flying. Once again, the Hawks dominated all across the stat sheet. As you can see here again, the Hawks clocked more kills, more aces, and more assists than the Huskies, which has been quite a common theme for these ladies this season. This solid performance gave the Hawks the win and locked in the Day 1 sweep. This win advanced the Hawks' record to 18-1 on the season. And with some high team morale going into Saturday, the Hawks came out flying against the number 4 ranked Ferris State Bulldogs. The Hawks would come out and take the first 2 sets. They had to have been smelling sweep going into that 3rd set, but then the Bulldogs came out and took care of business. The Bulldogs won the next 3 consecutive sets, the last of which was a tiebreaker to 15, which the Bulldogs would take by a score of 15-13, giving them the win over the Hawks and keeping their undefeated season alive. However, this is only the 2nd loss of the season for the Hawks. Both losses have come in non-conference tournaments. The Hawks still remain undefeated in conference play and are looking to take on 2 GLVC opponents this coming weekend. Well, they will host SBU at the Arena on Friday at 6, and as well as Drury on Saturday at 3. Moving from the court to the pitch, the Quincy men's and women's soccer teams had a road trip of their own this past weekend. We're going to take a look at the games first. The weekend kicked off in Rolla against the Missouri S&T Miners. The Hawks jumped out to a lead just 4 minutes into the game thanks to a goal from Pal Visnes. The Miners would pick up one of their own in the first half as well. Adri Paley was the goal scorer for the Miners. But that would be the end of the scoring in this one, and that one would go on to be a 1-1 tie. Moving on to Game 2 of the weekend for the men, they traveled to Springfield, Missouri on Sunday, where they would face off against the Drury Panthers, and it's safe to say they came in and took care of business on this one. The Hawks clocked in 2 goals in the first half and 2 in the second. João Pedro Amaral and Josh Nawasu picked up goals in the first half, and then in the second, Matthias Loretto and Leo Can both found the back of the net. Goalkeeper George Roque picked up the clean sheet in this one, and the Hawks would go on to beat the Panthers by a score of 4-0. Switching from the men's to the women's soccer teams, on Friday, the Lady Hawks got done what the men couldn't. The Hawks came into town and shut out the Miners. The lone goal scorer for the Hawks in this one was Olivia Nelson. She picked up her 2nd goal of the season at the 18-minute mark. And that would be all they needed, as goalkeeper Julia Mincher had 4 total saves, giving her the clean sheet, and the Hawks the big win as they push for a ticket into the conference tournament. And then moving into Game 2 of the weekend for the Lady Hawks, they also kicked off against the Drury Panthers, and the offenses were quiet in this one. To the casual soccer fan, this one may have been a bit boring, but the final score would end up being 0-0. But the story here is not about the offense, it's about senior goalkeeper Julia Mincher. Julia Mincher posted back-to-back clean sheets in this past weekend's contest. They were her first 2 shutout performances of the season, making 13 total saves on the weekend, 9 of which came in Sunday's game against the Panthers. This stellar weekend earned her GLVC Defensive Player of the Week. Congratulations, Julia. This coming Friday, both programs will host UMSL at Legends Stadium, and then on Sunday, Lincoln University will be coming into town for a weekend full of GLVC soccer. Now switching gears again to the gridiron, this past Saturday, the Hawks hosted the Truman State Bulldogs at the Rock. The scoring started in the second quarter where the Bulldogs offense exploded for 21 points to the Hawks 7. Quarterback Dylan Hare of the Bulldogs connected for a total of 3 touchdown passes throughout the game. He threw for 218 yards and had 13 completions on 23 attempts. And on the other sideline, quarterback Drake Davis put up some pretty legit numbers in this one as well, as he did have 1 interception, but however, he did pass for a total of 316 yards and 3 touchdowns. His third came with 7 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Down 28-14 in the fourth quarter, the Hawks made a last-second push with this Drake Davis to Damari Wilson connection. Heck of a catch there from Wilson as he just sticks up the hand in there and hauls it in. However, that would not be enough for the Hawks as they would fall by a score of 28-21. This moves them to 3-3 on the season thus far. Looking ahead, the Hawks will host Westgate Christian this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. at the Rock. So be on the lookout for that one and come out and support the Hawks. Staying on the topic of football, the QU Sprint football team wrapped up their regular season this past weekend. They hosted Oakland City University Saturday night. This one was relatively close at one point, with the Hawks only being up 13-8 going into the second half. But Coach McLaughlin must have said something that hit home at halftime, because the Hawks came out and scored 22 unanswered points. In the third quarter, C.J. Jackson, Brandon Black, and Hector Ramirez all found the end zone. Thanks to that third quarter surge and 1 additional touchdown reception from Gregory Quince, the Hawks would go on to close out their regular season with an exclamation point, knocking off Oakland City by a final score of 42-12 and solidifying their regular season record at 2-4. We heard about the fall weather creeping in just a few moments ago. However, with that comes fall baseball. The QU Hawks baseball team wrapped up their outdoor fall season last week, but not before a little maybe not so friendly competition.
They call it the Hawk World Series. The way it works is they first have a draft to determine teams, and that is set up as a 3-game series throughout the week, playing games on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if necessary.
Yeah, it's a good way to finish the fall season. You know, we only get so many days out here as a group. We get 45 days, and it gives us a chance for the guys that draft teams and compete. You know, it's kind of the exclamation point, and hopefully good baseball, and kind of put everything together that we've worked on all fall.
And on those off days, things got a bit weird. The Hawks played an out-of-position scrimmage, pitchers trying to hit, and field.
It's been a lot of fun, a lot of laughs because some guys just don't know how to swing it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Been a good experience.
While it was all fun and games on the off days, when it came down to game time, the fire didn't lack.
Yeah, we've been working all fall, so for us to come and compete and show off our abilities to those around us is a really great thing to do. You know, we come here day in, day out to get better, and then when we finally get to prove ourselves on the field against each other, it just makes us better. You know, iron sharpens iron.
The series ended in a sweep, and that would be the cherry on top for the Hawks' fall.
The Hawks will now move from their fall program to the winter program, which basically consists of mostly indoor practices and hard workouts. As the weather gets colder, you know, you can't play much baseball outside. So good luck this winter, Hawks, and show us the results in the spring. After a hard-fought week of games and practices, the QU baseball team held a big event. This included food, fun, and possible prizes to be won. QUTV's Henry Balmer brings us to the scene.
The baseball team held its annual golf outing this past weekend at Westview Golf Course. The event had 15 teams of 4 people, all looking to win the event or one of the little competitions within it.
The golf tournament was fun. I'm pretty sure my team came in 3rd or 4th place. I won the longest putt. You know, it was a good time playing with one of the other infielders, David Broughton. We had a good time with our dads and looking forward to it next year.
The event was a good way for the team to fundraise money for their upcoming season. With the big turnout for the event, there were a lot of teams trying to bring home the big prize. Even though a lot of teams didn't win anything, they enjoyed the experience.
It was really fun. I enjoyed playing with the team even though we didn't win. It was still a great experience, great food, and lovely environment.
Connor Freeze and his family, who was awarded with new golf wedges and QU baseball apparel. Even though only one team could win, everyone had a good time and shared some great memories. Henry Balmer, QUTV News, Quincy.
Golf outing caps off a good fall season for the Hawks. The Hawks will now prepare for their spring season where they will start off in Florida. Men's bowling was traveling to Wichita this weekend to compete in the Mid-States Championships. The tournament holds a special place for the Hawks as it is a Tier 1 event, meaning more points for rankings. This will mark their last Wichita Tier 1 event for the inaugural team that began 3 years ago. QUTV's Tony Lundy takes us down to the lanes for the team's last practice heading to Wichita.
The fall of 2021 hosted the first ever men's bowling team. That would begin the foundation to where the team is today. What started as 4 recruits and 1 walk-on turned into 15 men looking to keep the program afloat.
In the 4 years here, I wanted to try and accomplish, or not accomplish, but make a good foundation for players incoming and for after me, to try and give them something to enjoy and progress in the sport of bowling.
The team now holds a varsity and a junior varsity, allowing the upperclassmen to take leadership roles for the young players. With the expansion of the team added more positions to be filled. The main core of the program now holds a new spot beyond the athlete.
With being the student manager now, it means a lot to me because it allows me to still be able to help the guys on the team that I've known for the last 2-3 years on their way to sectionals, and that just means a lot to still be a part of that whole process and help the guys succeed.
They have turned into team role models, not only adjusting to the new coach well, but making his job just a bit easier. Although it may seem like their time is almost up, the team is looking to head into Wichita and make an impact to climb the rankings. QUTV, Tony Lundy, Quincy.
The Hawks did have a chance to compete this weekend, so let's take a look at some stats for them. Sophomore bowler Zach Grossvenner finished 17th individually with 209.3 average. The men's team finished 9th place out of 32 total teams. This marks the highest finish for a Tier 1 event in program history. Quincy University student athletes are now able to make money off their public image. From posting about a product to wearing a shirt during a game, athletes are starting to market themselves to companies to make some money. Being able to hold a job during the season is very tough. Athletes have now turned to endorsement deals to help pay for school. While some use the university's NIL properties to sell merchandise, others look outside companies for the exposure. Underdog Athletics has taken a liking to 2 QU athletes. One is Nate Hernandez, who believes that these deals can become something special.
I think it gives us a great opportunity to explore our brand and give us new opportunities when it comes to giving us exposures that we typically don't receive, especially on the D2 level that you may not see. You know, it's hard for Division I athletes to receive NILs and receive that extra exposure. So it's really nice for QU students to finally get that for a change.
This exposure could turn into future deals with other larger companies, as well as putting Quincy University name on the national map. And that's all I have for sports today. I'm Tyler Menendez, and thank you for watching QUTV Sports.
Thank you, Tyler, for keeping us updated with the sports.
Up next, a national holiday that many people may not be aware of. There's a crisp in the air and color in the trees. That means one thing, it's time for a good scare. Wednesday marks National Horror Movie Day. Whether Michael Myers makes your skin crawl or Annabelle torments your soul, there's a film for every anxiety. Horror films have been around for about as long as movies themselves. They date back to 1886 with the 3-minute French film The Haunted Castle. Since then, filmmakers have given us a slew of suspense, supernatural, psychological, and gross-out horror films. Now is the time for you to find them in theaters or on your favorite streaming platforms.
Speaking of horror, what are you guys planning on being for Halloween? That popular Netflix series, the Menendez brothers. My last name's Menendez. I figured, might as well be Lyle Menendez for Halloween since it's trending.
It's a pretty good one.
I really haven't thought about it that much. I'm open to any and all ideas, but I might just take a trip down to the Spirit Halloween and see what they have.
Everybody's giving me ideas, like Eminem, Jarhead, Jesse Pinkman, Walter White. I got plenty of ideas.
All right, we get it. I think I'll go as Woody, but I don't know. Thank you for watching QUTV News, and have a great day.